Ladies and gentlemen, so apparently now Tory Lanez was just found guilty of allegedly shooting Megan Thee Stallion in the foot, and he now faces 2 decades in prison. So I guess you could say that for Tory Lanez, it's not really looking good. And the biggest thing I'm wondering right now is what's going to be the outcome of the sentencing, because obviously with what Tory did, the only thing that he can really do in this case, I guess, is maybe appeal the conviction, because obviously now that Tory Lanez was convicted of shooting Megan in the foot, my biggest takeaway that I'm taking away from this entire trial is one thing. Bringing a firearm to a dispute is the dumbest idea you could ever do. I think, no matter whose side you are on in this case, whether you're on Megan Thee Stallion's side or whether you're on Tory Lanez's side, because obviously, I've been reading on social media that a lot of Tory Lanez fans are upset about the verdict, while a lot of people that are fans of Megan Thee Stallion are happy about the verdict. And one thing I think we can all agree in this case is that, this was not one of those things that turned fatal, because, y'all saw what happened to Takeoff a month ago. And, and I know that there's going to be possibly a lot of, I guess you could say, there's going to be a big, I guess, argument right now between both sides about who's right and who's wrong and all that. And, also, I've also read in the news, apparently, that the other day, that apparently Megan's lawyer is going to be going after all the bloggers who basically, I guess, are spreading misinformation about the case and all that stuff. And, I guess to an extent here, I guess Megan's lawyer does have a point. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for saying this, but, when it comes to reporting hip-hop news, you want to be one of those channels that reports news that's actually legitimate, and not just, be one of those tea gossip channels. Because, at least for me on my channel here, even though I'm a relatively small hip-hop news channel, one thing I never want to be is one of those tea gossip channels that just likes to make up, hip-hop news, just to see if, just to like spin the narrative and something that's not true. Because obviously, if you want to do hip-hop news, my honest advice would be to report news that's actually legitimate, that comes from a legitimate source, and just not try and spin the narrative things and just try and be one of those tea gossip channels. Because let me just say for the record, I am personally not a fan of, the whole tea gossip thing. I personally don't really, I never really watch any of those types of videos, just because, if for me, it's kind of a turn off, because, it's just it's just that I guess that you can also realize that in this case, that if you're one of those tea gossip channels that tried spinning the narrative on this case, the only thing I can imagine that all the tea gossip channels are probably doing right now is maybe, I don't know, removing the videos. Because obviously, if Megan's lawyer says she's going to come after the channels for, I guess, spreading misinformation about the case, then I guess you could say that, things like that maybe should be taken seriously. Because, it's like with the power, that Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer has, and with her being knowledgeable in law, I guess you could say that the worst thing you can do in this outcome right now is trying to spread misinformation. And that's why I haven't really talked about this topic right now, because, obviously I want to wait for the whole thing to come out and, actually the news that's legitimate. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to spin the narrative on this case, because obviously that's not what I do here on this channel. I like to report hip-hop news that's actually legitimate, that comes from a legitimate source, that's actually true, not just trying to make up some stuff all just to, try and because obviously, let's just say that by doing stuff like that, the only thing you're really doing is risking being sued for defamation. Okay, because whether people like it or not, one thing we have to realize here is that when you're a hip-hop news channel, obviously trying to defame somebody is never the answer. And, trying to spread defamation is only going to end really badly for you, because these rappers and these celebrities, you have to realize they got top lawyers. And if they feel like that, that there's a hip hop, there's like a tea gossip channel that's spreading lies about him, then you best believe, that these news channels, these lawyers that these high profile rappers and celebrities have, you best believe they could go after those types of tea channels. I know that there's a lot of them out there, but if you think about it, man, with the power that the high profile rappers and celebrities have, you want to, I don't think that doing that, spreading trying to, you know, spin the narrative is a good idea. Because I mean, if you guys remember, we all saw what happened to Tasha K. You know, she was one of those hip-hop gossip tea channels where, you know, Cardi B reportedly told her, you know, I think many times to take down the videos of her, and of her, like, of whatever, you know, whatever lies I guess she was spreading about Cardi B, you know. And, you know, Tasha K refused to, and because of that, you know, Cardi B took her to court, and now she has to, like, I guess what, pay her $4 million for defamation. So I guess that should be an example to all the other tea channels that think it's okay just to spin the narrative on stories, and the ones that think it's just okay just to, you know, basically maliciously spread lies about other, you know, artists and celebrities. You know, that's not a good idea, you know. So I guess in this case, Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer does have a point. But man, for Tory Lanez, what does this mean for his rap career? Is he going to continue to produce music or not? Because now that he was found guilty of you know, of doing what he was accused of to Megan Thee Stallion, that was, you know, allegedly shooting her in the foot, what does this mean for his hip-hop career? You know, is his career going to come to an end, or is he going to successfully appeal this this conviction? Because obviously, you know, with these types of cases here, like I said before, man, haven't really been paying attention to the case too much here, just because, you know, just so many people, it seems like, have different versions of what happened. But one thing we can all agree is that, you know, most people that are, you know, that are trying to spread misinformation about this, you know, you weren't there on the night of when the whole confrontation happened between Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez, because I certainly wasn't there. I wasn't a witness to that. I don't know what happened. That's why I don't really like to, that's why I didn't really, you know, make videos about this unless, you know, unless a reliable news source like XXL, for example, comes out and reports on what happened, because that's where I mainly get all my hip-hop news sources from. Because I always like to look at news sources that are legitimate, not ones that are just either really, that have a really bad credibility and all that. But obviously, man, like I said before, in this case, one thing that I think everybody should agree on, no matter whose side you're on, is that thankfully nobody lost their life. Because obviously we all saw what happened to Takeoff, you know, a month ago. Like, for him to lose his life over a game of dice is just absolutely, you know, just ridiculous. Like, it is ridiculous. And I guess with this with this outcome of the trial right now, Tory Lanez, he's possibly going to be going to jail for a very, very long time. And I mean, if you think about it right now, I guess that you know, that if you're a fan of Tory Lanez and you were hoping for him to release new albums, well, I guess that depends now that he's probably gonna have to put that on hold, since, you know, he just got found guilty and all that. But I guess, you know, like I said before, the only thing he can really do, I guess, now is appeal the conviction and all that. And yeah, so I really have nothing much else to say about this. But yeah, what a crazy outcome of the trial. See ya.